you bring in Alan Hocko and you make him a bad guy. Yep. And I'm pretty sure all Newfoundland would have liked a crossover of Republic of Doyle, Hudson and Rex. And I'm told that could still be in the works.
You did get a crossover Newfoundland of Republic of Doyle.
Yeah, but no, like, I mean, like, you brought him in as a bad guy. And I was just like, that was a very, like, if I was going to watch him as the episode.
Bring him in as Jake Doyle, man.
Why not? Why not?
It's a CBC show. We ain't no CBC show. He had his show already. He's coming on our show. You know, when I was on his show, I did his show. I did his show, and I was like a crazy jury foreman or whatever. But you got to go into something else. He had,
you're basically saying he had his day. He had his day. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, man. Alan Hocko will be just fine. He's he's gonna be just fine.
I will start off by saying that I do have beef with Justin. Justin told me that John's name was Johan, and I was like, okay. And then when I went to interview John, I was like, I'm gonna do some research before I interview John. So I looked up. I'm just like, everyone else is calling him John. I was like, where the fuck is Justin coming up with the name Johan? And then when I asked him, he was just kind of like, what are you talking about? And I was like, next time I see you, Justin,
kick him right in the nuts.
You're right, dead man.
Yeah, he's long overdue for a swift kick right in the gonads.
Well, I pitched it to him in his episode. I'm like, dude, if you ever need an extra that's just like a computer nerd that's like the anti-Justin, that somehow convinces that you think it's Justin, but it's not Justin, and then I end up putting Justin in, like, I don't know, put him in what's the body of water, the Harbor Grace or something.
Yeah,
put him out there, and then it's just like, yeah, there you go. There, I pitched myself in an episode, and then Justin said, "Oh, that sounds great," and I'm just like, "No, don't, because then they'll like me, and then you'll be recast."
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah, I want to start off by saying, like, so we've had 3 already on. You were the last one. You were the holdout. I know we've asked you for like since season 1, and you're just like, nah, man, I'm too big of a deal. Like, I was on Naturally Sadie. What do you want?
Yeah, hey, it's just the way of the world, man. What are you gonna do? Disney shows are the way to fame and fortune.
You're basically like, you know what? Once he gets John on, then let me know, because then I'm gonna make it sound like I was the big star. John is a co-star. Yeah.
Have you had Diesel on yet though?
No, I haven't had Diesel on. I you know what?
So you still got a ways to go, bro.
Yeah. I have to channel my inner dog.
That's the Plum interview. I'm just telling you. I mean, you didn't hear from me, but that's
yeah. I feel like he's very high up there to get. Like, you got to send him treats. You got to have, like, it's a big deal.
Yeah. And when you do, just don't look him in the eye.
Yeah, don't look him in the eye. Everyone thinks that it's funny, because everyone thinks that dog on that show is like, oh, you got to be like super friendly, and I'm just like, do your research on those dogs. Like, there's a reason there's a trainer. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way in, man.
I want to ask you to first start off is like, I know we're in what season? Is it season 6?
Yeah, season 6 just premiered the other day.
And what is your takeaway on season 6 so far, Kevin?
I don't know. Have you seen the episode yet?
I have not. Now listen. My mom watches it like all the time, to the point where I'm just like, we've seen this episode like 4 times. Can we just like find something else to watch? She's just like, no. There's nothing else on. I'm knitting, and this is great. And I'm just like, I don't know how you can do both. Like, there are times where I will walk in halfway through an episode and ask her what's going on, and she's just like, "Oh no." I'm just like, how do you not know? Like, you're watching it, and she's like,
right.
I like the sound. And I'm just like, I wouldn't be able to do that, because the moment that someone dies, or you have to figure, I'm just like, I'm invested. It's like Scooby-Doo as a kid. I didn't watch halfway Scooby-Doo and just be like, yeah, I know how this ends.
Yeah.
Like, no, now I'm invested. So
no, it's blasphemy, man. You can't do
but
that.
I heard that you're like directing in one of these episodes as well.
Yeah. I'm in the process. Right now we're on hiatus.
Okay.
But once we get back, I have a few more days, and then I'm right back in it. And I'm gonna make my directorial debut in season 6, which is pretty exciting, man.
So were the rest of the cast kind of like, oh, Kevin thinks he's bigger than us now? He's going into directing.
Oh, I mean, they've known that for quite a while. This is just only like confirmation of
okay.
And proof positive that I'm a big deal. I'm a really, really big deal. And my wife has known this, my kids have known this. Everyone who knows me has known this for quite some time, but now it's like actually getting the heavyweight belt,
yeah,
but already being the people's champ.
okay, that's fair. Yeah.
No, listen. No, my cast knows that I am meekly and humbly walking into this gig. It's just something that I've had on my mind for a number of years in my career, and finally I'm getting this opportunity, this gift to be able to realize the dream of being able to direct for television. And I mean, although we haven't started my part of it yet, I haven't actually been behind the lens yet and called rolls and cuts and all that kind of stuff. And my cast has promised to be as difficult with me as possible. I know that when the chips are down, they're going to be really supportive, and I'm really looking forward to it.
So like I'm kind of interested from the standpoint of like, when do you turn the light from, say, acting to directing? Like, was it something that you were always in the back of your mind you wanted to do, and then acting was kind of like the process to get there? Or was it kind of like, I want to be an actor, I've done this for so long, now I'm kind of interested to see on the other side?
I think it's a little column A, a little column B, but it's mostly the second option that you just mentioned.
Okay.
I will always be an actor. I don't think there's ever going to be a point in my life where I hang up that shingle and moved to and exclusively become a director. But it's been something that I've always been fascinated with. My background is theater, right? That's I trained in theater school and you know, classically trained actor, all that kind of stuff. Right. But it's once I started doing television and I began to really understand the process that I became more and more fascinated with it. And the technical side of it, and the number of moving parts, the number of people who are involved in the process, and how, you know, it goes so far beyond what you see on the floor and on the day and in the final product. Like, there's so much preparation in it that I thought to myself, I'd love to give this a shot. And it's been a number of years. It's been, you know, over a decade now that I've been sort of watching directors and shadowing them and following the process. But now it's just, you know, I think I'd be crazy if I didn't take advantage of the opportunity that being on a show for 6 seasons has provided me. You know, for someone who hasn't gone to film school and done the process that the conventional director has, you know, this is just a great way to at least try my hand and see if there's a future there. You know, and as I said, it's something that I think could potentially ultimately run parallel. Yeah. But I don't think it'll ever take over. I've always thought of myself as a one-trick pony, man. I say words. That's it. That's what I do.
I'll be honest with you, because when you said film school, like I now listen, there could be different programs in different parts of the country that treat it differently. But so I'm in Ottawa now, but I got accepted at Carleton for film studies, because everywhere else was just like Bachelor of Arts, whatever. And then this one was film studies. And I wanted to go into kind of like the movie TV side. And I thought it was going to be more or less like, they're going to give you a camera, you go out and shoot. It was like us watching like 1960s films and dissecting it. And I was just like, not what I had in mind for film studies. They're like, yeah, but they're like, by year 3 and 4, and I'm like, I won't make it to year 3 and 4. I'm like, I don't want to watch these films. So, I mean, listen, you're not missing much. You're not missing much if you're going to, like, if you had to say, listen, boys, I know you want me to be a director, but I'm going to go do film school. They'd just be like, way to shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, hey, listen, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to everything, as I think I said before. And even as a theater school student, as an acting student, you know, you come out of theater school and you learn a bunch of stuff, and you find that the first 5 years of your career are about forgetting what you learned in theater school. But then as you continue to work, you find yourself reaching back in difficult times for the tenets that you didn't think you needed, but they actually become building posts and pillars that you grab onto when you find yourself, adrift at sea. So, you know, I think those are the things that I might be missing as a director, or, you know, the actual baseline, you know, fundamental facts about, you know, lenses and about angles and about vectors and all that kind of stuff. But I think the reason why I really want to do it for this show is that we've got a crew that is one of the best in the world. And I don't say just because they're my coworkers and friends, but it's because it's a fact. This crew is one of the best crews in the world. And I've grown to love, you know, Newfoundland, but the people in Newfoundland and the people on my crew tremendously. And if I couldn't take advantage of the fact that I think they have an affection for me, I don't know whether they love me or not. They may not love me at all. But if I can take advantage of the fact that they'd be willing to push in my direction and help buoy me through this situation, then I think I'd be crazy. So that's part of why I'm on this journey, man.
So as a director, do you have any pull or say in one of this, like, because I'm gonna tell you a story. It was like every time that something comes up where it's just like Hudson Rex is looking for extras, I'm like, okay, it's like put it in a resume, and then it's just like, don't get a goddamn call, Kevin. Don't get a goddamn call. So I even said I said it twice to I think it was Mako on her episodes. I'm like, Mako, I don't know whose leg I have to like kind of push around here, but I'm just like, I'm gonna have to send in some audition tapes and nothing. They probably just see this mug and they're just like, ugh, can't cast that guy. It's like we can put him as like in the back as an extra.
Come on, man. Don't sell yourself short, man. You got a future. You're gonna be on the show eventually.
I'll be there.
But there's only like 500,000 people in the province, man. Yeah. By sheer numbers, your number is going to come up eventually. Come on.
It just be like it's like our ratings are like really down, and we need something to like cancel us. Bring in Tobin. No, Tobin will be the death.
Get out of here. You'll be the new Marlboro man, the new sort of Harlequin romance dude. On the show.
I'll be like when you watch The Office and they bring in like a second Dwight. I don't know what the character's name was, but it's supposed to be like the smaller version of Dwight. That'll be me. I'll be like Johan or John's like second guy, and they'll be like, you're the one, you're the guy who messes everything up, and then Charlie has to fix it. And I'm just like, that's a great role. Can I last like 20 episodes? That'd be great.
You'd be like multiverse Charlie or something like that.
Yeah. Back in the day, Charlie. Yeah.
Bro, I think we're onto something, man. I think we're onto something.
I'll pitch these ideas, and then someone just be like, that Tobin guy at it again, is he? Okay, shut him down.
I'm writing this stuff down.
Yeah, as long as I get credit, I don't care. Just put it as a post. Like, it's like on the Tonight Show. Lorne Michaels has nothing to do with like the Tonight Show, but they just put him there as a credit because he's there. I'm just like, I'll take that.
Oh, Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. He's just there in the background, according to many of the actors that tell me things. I want to ask you, like, how did you get into acting? Because like for me, when I was younger, I used to watch SNL, and I was like, that's going to be something I want to do one day. And then I realized that you actually have to go out and, act. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like stand up. And then I was like, that means you have to have material. And then people are like, well, you can talk. And I was just like, well, then maybe I'll just do a talk show. And they're like, who's going to watch that? And I'm just like, I don't know, but we'll try. But like, what got you into the acting bug?
I always say that it kind of found me, man. Like it was just an inevitability. Yeah. Truthfully, like I've always been blessed or cursed with the gift of the gab, right? Depending on who you talk to, and who was in charge of raising me that day, like whether it's my mom or my dad or whatever, like whoever was off work that day and had to take me like on the TTC on the public transit to a doctor's appointment, had to like sit there and listen to a little chatty 4-year-old for 2.5 straight hours. Like I never stopped talking. My parents would say, never stop talking. So as I grew up as a young kid, I thought that I'd parlay that gift of the gab into being a lawyer, a litigator of some sort. I was sort of always fascinated with the law and whatnot. But as time went by, I was more drawn to plays. Like I did my first play in 5th grade, and people seemed to like it, and I was actually good at it. And I did another one in 8th grade. I did Oklahoma, singing and dancing as Parker in Oklahoma, and that went over really well. And then I went to Arts High School, and that went well. Like girls seemed to like me because I was a good actor. So I was like, oh, I can get girls by being an actor. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to theater school, and I did that. And one thing just led to another. And once you graduate from theater school, it kind of behooves you, like you have to try. You've graduated with a BFA. You got to at least go out and get an agent and try your hand in the real world. And by the grace of God, here I still am, a couple of decades later. So as I said, it's just always been the path. I come from a blue collar family, man. And, being an actor isn't really the first thing that you'd think of to put food on the table. Yeah. But it's as I said, it's just worked out. It's just really worked out for me. And I always thought that I'd do theater school, or at least maybe go to university for a real career, quote unquote. Be an engineer, or be a lawyer or something like that, and then maybe pursue acting. But the acting thing just always kept coming back around, and it was undeniable. And had to give it a shot, and it's worked out.
So I mean, I guess like I look at it from, if I was going into acting and then someone wanted me to act on a podcast, because like I like podcasting, that'd be like kind of a perfect scenario. But like I read through some of your credentials, like I looked at the ones that I watched, because there's obviously ones that like I've never seen, but I seen one for Suits. I remember watching Suits. So when you said about lawyer, like when you got a role for Suits, were you kind of like, oh man, like this kind of brings like the best of both worlds. I can kind of act like I'm a lawyer. I can kind of act like I'm a big deal.
But that's what acting is all about, man. That's the joy of acting. Do you know what I mean? Is truly like you get to, like, we're conditioned in society to squash our worst selves and put forward our best selves and stuff. Acting allows you to be an ass, right? Like to find your worst self. Like on Suits, I was an evil African warlord who had murdered a whole bunch of people. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait, that's not you? No.
Surprise. No, it's not really. But I always say within us lies these people. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a part of you that, goes, oh man, I could really steal Tobin's money, or I could really, whatever. But you go, no, that's not the way we do it in society. And that's not the way good people do things. You know what I mean? But as an actor, you get to live out those fantasies and play them out, and and let those parts of your personality live fully. And for me, it just allows me to be a better person afterwards. It allows me to be a better, friend and brother and partner and all that kind of stuff, because I've lived out the worst part of myself on screen.
It's funny because like when you see certain actors play certain roles and you grow up watching them in like two different dynamics, like I think it's John Lithgow that I've always remembered from like Third Rock from the Sun, and then like seeing him do, I think it's what was the show called there now? It's like Dexter, and he's like a totally different character on like Dexter. I'm just like, this isn't the John Lithgow I used to watch on Treehouse singing songs to me, and this is a little bit dark. And then it's almost like, I'm sure he's still a nice person, but if you're that good of an actor, you're kind of like, but is he? Like, I'm kind of concerned. Like, is he friendly if I go up to him? And he could be a little bit of that character. So,
well, that's the thing, right? And that's why a lot of people are disappointed when they meet their icons, right? When they meet their idols, especially actors. Like, man, you play such a nice person, and now I'm walking up to you in Ponderosa and interrupting you and your family at dinner. You're not so nice. But there's people are complex. They're multi-layered and stuff, and you don't know really who the real person is unless they decide to peel back the onion and show you that. So but as I said, it allows me anyway to be sane. There's some actors who get way into it and can't pull themselves back out and find out where that line is and who they are. But for me, it allows me to delve into the best parts of myself, the worst parts of myself, parts that I aspire to be, parts that I would never want to be, but honor them fully. Do you know what I mean? Which allows me to come right back to a nice, healthy place, and and be balanced, and be available for my kids, and drive them to hockey and dance and stuff, and and truly, like, not be. Some people wake up one day and they realize they're like 65 and they never got to do the things they want to do in life. You know what I mean? They never got to tell their boss off. They never got to, ask their spouse for the things that they want. Like I wanted to go to, like, wherever. I wanted to go climb a mountain, but I was afraid. As an actor, hopefully if you work and you're gifted with the opportunity to play, many disparate roles, you get the opportunity to do all those things and to be all those people in some way, shape, or form.
I think if I was ever cast for like a gig, I think I'd want to be like always cast as like the bad guy, so that when people because then here's my theory of it. If you're cast as a bad guy, people like you for maybe being a bad guy, but like kids will never really want to come up to you and talk, which I'd be a little bit shattered. I'd be a little bit shattered about that, because I do like kids, but the aspect of it is like, I would never have to disappoint you, because like you'll never come up and talk to me. But then if I'm always playing a good guy and just say I'm having a bad day, and then for some reason, like there's someone there and you kind of like, you're like, dude, I just want to eat. And that's like a 10-year-old kid, and that's like their memory. That's like their memory of you. Then it's just it's just a bad day.
You ain't fooling nobody, man. No matter how many bad guys you play, ain't nobody gonna think that you're a bad guy. Everybody's gonna still walk up to you.
Come on.
No, come on, man. You can't hide, Tobin. You can't hide, man.
I want to play like I want to play a dick, like on just a TV show. So someone's just like, man, I knew he was an asshole, and I'd be like, no, that's how good I am. That's how good I am.
And you can try, yeah, but you can't, man. People are gonna be like, nah, man. No, look at that boyish smile there. Everybody knows.
I think I know why I'm not on Hudson and Rex. You were the one who turned it down. You're just like, you've seen the screenshot, and you're just like, he cannot be a bad guy. Look at that smile. He's not a bad guy. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Call up John Lithgow, man. Call up John Lithgow.
Call up Johan.
Call up Johan.
I want to ask, like, speaking of Hudson and Rex, like, we've had the other ones on, and they talked about how they kind of got cast. Tell me a little bit about your backstory. Like, I know there's auditions. I think Mako said in hers, she was like surprised because it was like a while before she had a callback. And then originally they had 2 already figured out. And then she was kind of at first, I think she even said she wasn't sure if she had gotten it because it was just that lengthy of a process. But like, tell me a bit about like how they found you, like how the audition went, and when you kind of knew like, okay, I got this role.
I think they sort of backdoored me into the audition because I was auditioning for a guest star role on the show.
Okay.
A character who's been in one of the early episodes, and and I read for it, and I just thought it was just another sort of maybe you get 4 or 5 days on set in Newfoundland, which is a place that I love. But I was in the room for way longer than anybody else was. Like when you're auditioning, you get to know the people who you audition against. They become friends of yours because same look, same age, same acting ability, all that kind of stuff. And we're all hanging out in the waiting room. Each person goes in and they have their 10 minutes or whatever. But my audition went on for like 10, 15, 20. Try it this way. Say it that way. Do it standing on your head. Can you do it drinking a glass of water? Can you spin these plates? Can you, like all these kinds of, like I was doing, the kind of stuff that you do when you're auditioning for a lead on a series. But I still didn't think anything. I just thought that either I sucked and they just wanted to see if I did better or she, but I didn't realize that they were looking for this character. They were looking for the Joe Donovan character. And I guess either they had me in mind or I piqued their interest after I auditioned for the role that I had auditioned for. And then I got an offer for this role. And once again, I still thought, they said it was a recurring role, but I didn't know that it was, a character that would live on forever on the show. So it was a bit of a surprise because I did think I'd be in Newfoundland for maybe 2 or 3 months. And now we're going on season 6, which is actual full 50 year of living in Newfoundland on and off. But I'm not telling you anything you don't know. There's no better place in the world to live, especially in the summer, man. Like it's a really, really great place, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity and the journey that I've.
You trying to sell that too, Kevin? Our summers suck. Come on now.
Your summers don't suck, man. No, your summers don't suck. They're just not long enough. That's all. That's all. They're great.
I came from Newfoundland to Ottawa to go to school, and I remember in September I was just like expecting Newfoundland September, and I was like, this is still summer up here, and like they had it up here for like the last 2 days that was still summer. Now it feels more Newfoundland because it's all rain up here now, but like I was coming home.
Finally turned.
I was coming home like with a sweater on from school, and then like halfway home I'm just like, why am I wearing a sweater? I don't need this till like December. But at home I'm just like, it's July and I'm out coaching soccer. I'm like, do you got another winter hat? This winter hat's like soaked. Give me another winter hat. Like I need more winter wear. It's like when people say, okay, I'm going to Newfoundland. What do you expect? I'm just like, all seasons, bring it and pack it in a bag.
100%. Yeah, 100%, man. And that's always been the thing there. I mean, we used to shoot through the winters in Newfoundland, and now we realize, no, let's not do that anymore.
It's not possible.
Let's not do that. Let's try to stick to the summer and the spring, summer, and fall months. But the dead of winter, February, March, April, those are not the best times.
No, I think it's funny because Mako had mentioned, because I guess a lot of you are coming from, say, Toronto, and then you relocate here to do like episodes in Newfoundland. But she said, I think it was like her first time coming here. It was during maybe even, I think it was like during COVID or Snowmageddon. And she was like, she just kind of felt very, I guess, depressed, isolated. And I was just like, man, it's like, that's how we all felt. And we were here. We were born and raised here. But I was like so surprised because I'm like, yeah, because she mentioned at first about not sure it was the right fit, because I think she said she had like a baby and then she was trying to wheel it up a hill and it's slippery. And then if the baby goes, she goes. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's like, it's very hilly. But then I think she kind of got accustomed to it and got used to the culture, because I'm assuming we're still friendly people. I don't know. Sometimes I'll go around and be like, do we still have that? Is that still our badge of honor that we're friendly? Yeah. Sometimes you're just like,
have you talked to her lately about it?
No, I think actually no. The last thing that Mako wanted me to communicate with her on, and we're actually going to bring it up next, so great transition, is that I noticed now, it could be from season 4 to 5 or 3 or 4, that maybe it was more last season, but I was so used to you guys being kind of more of a collective whole, like almost like, and I even said to her, like a Scooby-Doo kind of vibe. But now it's almost like each character, which is fine, has their own like backstory. But then it's like cutscenes of like, all right, we're going to go with John and Mako over here. Okay, Justin has his thing where he's now always kind of in a building and not really out on like solving the crime. And then your character's kind of got his own thing. And I'm just like, now it feels more like, I can't remember the word she used for it, because I think they had a new person come in and direct or create. And I wish I could remember the word, but it was no longer like collective unit, like in a van. It was almost like every person now is assigned to a task, and that's where you'll see them. I'm like, now it makes the show feel more longer than it used to be.
In terms of what does that mean? Is that good or bad? What does that mean?
Like
longer
for me now, I'm like one person, but I just kind of like the idea of like working as a whole to solve the whole crime. But now where it's like each person has their own like niche, I guess. It's like you don't see Justin out with you kind of solving a crime. It's just like he's kind of in his own computer lab. And I was just like, we're taking Justin away from the crime scene. Like this is now his thing. It just kind of made it like, we have to get Justin in this scene. So give him a cutscene for like 5 minutes. And like, or you could have just let him go out with the crew. But I guess there's another fan base out there that's like, but why would he be? Why would he be going out with them? He's not. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, I like the first couple of seasons where everyone was kind of like piecing together the puzzle, and then that's what solved it. Now it's almost like,
well, I don't think we'll ever get away from that.
Yeah.
In some facets. I mean, that's the heart of the show, is that everybody has their gifts and their strengths and their thing. And you know, Sarah's forensics, Justin is tech, Charlie is good old fashioned sleuthing, and mine is pointing the finger and recognizing their skills and you know, and saying, you know, you're the smart guy here, you're the smart lady there, you're the smart dog there, go do your thing. So I think they'll always, in some way, shape or form, they'll always be a unit, and they'll always work that way. I think as a storytelling device, I think every once in a while you got to shake things up, not just for your audience, but also for your actors, right? If it's always about you know, oh no, someone's murdered. Okay, let's go find out who did it. Let's talk to the wife. Let's talk to the husband. Oh my God, the butler did it with the candelabra in the parlor, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be off the air in a little while, like in short order. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes by filling in backstories of some of the actors, it allows the audience to become a little bit more invested in the characters. It allows them to say, oh, Joe Donovan has a daughter who is trying to find her way through love. Charlie and Sarah have a relationship, a budding relationship, but she's trying to deal with her ex. Jesse is, you know, whatever. He has an active love. There's all kinds of little things in there that you could just sort of feather in to allow people to buy in a little bit more. And sometimes it does make the actual crime, I don't think that ever becomes secondary, because these are always B storylines. These are always B plots.
Yeah.
That should be there. So, you know, but then there comes times where you want the murder, the story, to be the story. And I think this season is a little bit more focused in that direction. So it'll give you a little bit more of what you want. But I think you always have to go yin and yang and go back and forth in order to keep people on their toes, because the moment people can predict and say, oh, this is the moment where we're going to find out what happens, this is where Rex is going to take down the person or whatever, that's instant TV death, right? So, what do they say? You can never please all the people all the time.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you have, then maybe it's time for you to move on. I think you have to keep people guessing and on their toes. And I think that's what we and the producers and the writers and the showrunners are trying to do in their collective wisdom.
Well, I feel like the positive side of all this too is like if you keep people engaged, like even someone like myself that will like, tune in from time to time if it's on, or if like I'm excited to see an episode and like watch it, like I know how it's going to end, like you will solve it, but it's just like there are certain moments where you're like, okay, like this seems a little bit like, are they going in a different direction? Like the episode that comes on a lot, I think it's like FX down our way too, is I don't know the show, like I don't know him like per title name, but it's just the one that he's like a firefighter and like somehow he kind of befriends everyone to trust him. And then it's like the scene where like John or Charlie is kind of in the hospital, and then he's kind of like the killer line of it is almost like, by the time they come here to find out like that I'm the bad guy, you're going to be gone, everything's going to be destroyed. And he like apparently lights the thing on fire, like the whole kind of like hospital. And that's like the very moment that like Rex comes in and like busts these ass. And I'm just like, okay, you had me there, because I was just like, I really thought that this was how it's going to end. Like, it's literally like, he's gotten away with it. He like, they're who, but it's always like in the nick of time, someone shows up.
Right.
So it's like, okay, like you're still expecting it. Like, you know, it's coming, but it's still like the lead up to it is still kind of interesting, where it's just like, what about if it's not this time? Like, like the one where it's like, Justin's character like befriends a cop because they both kind of think that their bosses are dicks, and then next minute Justin's about to get his head blown off, and then it's like, I'm like, I just seen this guy in a TD commercial, now he's gonna blow this other guy's head off. I'm like, it's like coming back to the whole acting thing. I'm like, hey, he got me, and then just out of nowhere, it's like, no, we caught you again. I'm like, oh, but you had me. Okay, you did have me there. I thought that was how it's gonna end, because you never know. Yeah. So it is like, I do find it intriguing for certain episodes. Like now, the other aspect that I do find is guest stars. Like you've had a nice few guest stars come on. Like I did torment Justin about this. I did torment Alan when we had Alan Hocko on about this. But I'm just like, you bring in Alan Hocko and you make him a bad guy. But I'm pretty sure all Newfoundland would have liked a crossover of Republic of Doyle, Hudson and Rex. And I'm told that could still be in the works.
You did get a crossover Newfoundland of Republic of Doyle.
Yeah, but no, like I mean, like you brought him in as a bad guy, and I was just like, that was the very like, if I was going to watch him as the episode,
bring him in as Jake Doyle, man.
Why not?
It's a CBC show. We ain't no CBC show. He had his show already. He's coming on our show. When I was on his show, I did his show. I did his show, and I was like a crazy jury foreman or whatever. But you got to go into something else. He had it,
you're basically saying he had his day. He had his day. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, man. Alan Hocko gonna be just fine. He's gonna be just fine, man. Yeah. He doesn't need to be Jake Doyle. Jake Doyle will have his reboot at some point. I'm sure they're gonna be a Republic of Doyle movie and Lunchbox.
And that's when you'll call him up and be like, "Yo, can I get in that?
Man, where's the Hudson and Rex on the Republic of Doyle? Like Hudson and Rex is still on. What do you mean? I'm like, but
I just want that. Like, listen, I've become a director now. I've been an actor. Man. Like, I want that movie. I want that movie cut. Right?
Oh yeah, man. People love Jake Doyle. Jake Doyle will be just fine. He doesn't need to show up on Hudson and Rex. And Alan was fantastic on our show. He wasn't even a bad guy, really. He was just a prisoner. He was a criminal. He went to jail, and
he has to have like the Alan Doyle thing is the Alan Hocko thing, I should say, is that he needs to have that leather jacket.
Yeah.
That's his thing now.
And the GTO, right? Yeah.
Do you have because you're going now with 6 seasons strong? Yep. Do you have to have like I guess a favorite episode of yours, or one that you're kind of looking back on and be like, this is the one that I really enjoy either working on, or I can go watch it myself? Not that I don't know if actors really watch themselves anymore. Like some do, but I feel like for me, I don't watch my own stuff because I'm just like, man, what a nerd. But like, is there ones that you look back on and you're like, I like this episode, wasn't too fond of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always ones that you're more fond of and less fond of, but it's still, for me, it's like picking your kids, man. Like picking your favorites and your
What are you
kids.
talking about? I can pick my favorite niece and nephew because
There
I only
you
got
go.
one. I only got one each, so I guess they are my favorite niece and nephew. Oh,
There you go.
sorry, there
Right?
is Max, but he's a baby, so that don't count. No.
Well, Max, by the time Max rolls this around, he'll be all right. He'll be okay.
Oh, by the time he sees this, he'll be like, he'll dig it up, and I'll be like 40, and he'll be like,
Yeah.
"Remember how I told you I wanted this thing, and you said it's too expensive?"
Yeah.
And then he plays the clip. I'll be like, "Oh, blackmail? Okay."
Here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering why you did an old man's voice when you said you're 40. You're like, yeah,
I feel, man, like I'm 32. I'm 32, and I feel like I might as well do the old man voice.
For someone who's already crested and past the 40 mark, I'm like, why is he saying like 40 like he's like gonna be geriatric at 40?
I could. Listen, I turned like 32. Well, by the time this airs, I'll be 32. But like, you know, it's always weird to me because I came up to Ottawa to revisit like things like 10 years ago. And like, I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting things to kind of be similar. But then you see that it's not that you've changed, you've just grown. So all the things that you used to like when you're 22, you don't really like as 32. Your friends have kind of grown. So I'm kind of like in that standpoint where I'll wake up one day and like my knee will not be the same. And I'm just like, here we go. Here's the downfall.
Yeah.
It's like one day I could wake up and tumble out of bed and just be like, I'm fine. I know I fell over 5 stairs, but I'm good. And now it's just like I bend it the wrong way. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm out for a week, guys.
You're 32. You got 3 years left before that starts to become a super reality, man.
Oh, thanks.
35, it all starts to fall apart, bro. But enjoy.
Thanks. Give me the heads up.
You're welcome.
For the final bit, Kevin, do you want to have a fun game of random questions?
Done. Let's do it.
How do you feel is the best way to overcome challenges in your life? That's a good
one. With a firm belief in yourself, right? It sounds really hokey and corny, but with a firm belief in yourself. If you know who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, what you will take, what you will not take, what you want, what you don't want, what you will abide, what you won't abide, you'll make it through. And
I feel like I'm listening to a P. Diddy song here.
What's that?
So I feel like I'm listening to a P. Diddy song here.
It's coming, man. It's coming. You know, I got all kinds of skills you ain't seen yet. But that's the truth, though. Like, you know, it doesn't mean you're gonna be perfect. It doesn't mean you're gonna solve all the problems in your life and in the world. But you're gonna know that the decision you made was made based out of a truth to yourself and out of a belief in who you are and what you value. And even if it's the wrong choice, it'll still lead you on the path that you need to be on in your life.
That's fair. Is that almost like the easiest way of saying fake it till you make it?
No, it's about being strong and wrong, man. You know, that's what it is. Being strong and wrong. I fully believe in that. Like don't be ignorant, and don't be ignorant of other people's opinions and what people value and the fact that you can hurt other people. But if you think that this is the right choice, then go for it. Don't apologize. Don't equivocate. Go for what you believe in. And if you find you've done the wrong thing, you do need to apologize, then apologize at that point. But you know, yeah.
I guess this one's not a random question, but it's one to close it out. So Kevin, season 6, a lot of people are probably excited for it. I'd say like a lot of Newfoundlanders are excited for it, obviously, because of the scenery and like what other places have they gone. But without giving too much away, what are some, I guess, things that people can expect in season 6 that, to amp up that season, to really sell it to the people?
Look, you're always going to find out more about us, about Newfoundland. You're going to see more of Johnny's hair. It's a hair season, man.
Oh, okay.
You knew that Johnny had such luscious curly locks, man. You know, so Charlie gets a little bit more badass. There's less suits. There's less sort of constraints on the characters. I think everybody just gets to bust out a little bit. You know, Jesse grows up. Donovan gets a little, butch and badass. Sarah gets a little more kick-ass. And, and Diesel, or Rex, the dog gets, finds new ways to solve crimes, man. So, I mean, I think everybody gets a little bit more. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people.
All right, well, that's good. So basically, we're going to clue it up by saying in season 7, maybe, just maybe, I'll make a cameo in season 7.
Done. Let's make it happen.
Okay, yeah, because by that point, you should have directed a few episodes to be like, listen, I know a guy that could probably play a bad guy, And then they'd be like, not Tobin. And they'd be like, but I get to say, I'm the director of this episode.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, it was really fun having you. Hopefully we'll have you back on again soon. And yeah, if season 7 comes and they tell me to audition and I don't get it, I'm just going to be like, Kevin!
You're in. Don't worry about it, man. It's all set.
That's going to do it for this episode of Tobin Tonight. Our thanks to Kevin Hanchard for coming on to the show. Remember, you can find past, present, and future episodes on TobinTonight.com, Spotify, and iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and leave a comment or two. For Tobin and myself, this is Jacob saying thank you for listening and good night.